Hey everyone, I just finished watching the next episode of Lightspeed Rescue. That's right, I just finished watching it. I didn't wait a couple of days this time. So anyway, this episode, plot summary, Diabolico revives the three monsters from the last couple episodes and combines them all into a new monster, Troika. I love that name, Troika. That is a cool name. Anyway, the Rangers are fighting Troika. They can't win. Ryan's getting frustrated because he can't morph. So then, let's see. I took notes here. Dr. Fairweather has been working on battle boosters for the Rangers that could help. So the Rangers fight Troika again. They activate the battle boosters. And oh, there's a weird thing here. She says activate the battle boosters. The scientists pull a couple of levers and do some science stuff. And there's these three cylinders that suddenly like fill up with color. We see there's a red one, a yeah, a red one, a blue one, and a green one. The male Rangers colors. And at first I was like, wait, did only the guy Rangers get this? And then I rewound it and saw behind, okay, so there is a pink and yellow cylinder. I didn't see them at first because they're obscured by the guy's cylinders. That sounds kind of dirty, doesn't it? Anyway, the battle boosters are like little numerical button wrist thingies, kind of like Andros's Battleizer wrist thingy. They, I don't know, press the code in, it gives them super strength to beat Troika. Anyway, meanwhile, Ryan has left the Aqua Base, and he's apparently walked, or I don't know how he got there. He got to those like desert ruins that were in the first episode of Lightspeed, which I think was supposed to be like in the Middle East or Egypt or something. Anyway, there's a weird bit. He is walking up to it and he says, "Diabolico told me that the Cobra's lair was here," and it just made me think, why did Diabolico ever tell him about the Cobra? Like, I'm guessing it was when he was like younger, being raised by Diabolico, maybe. But we don't really get too much information about like younger Ryan. So I don't know. Anyway, let's see, where was I? Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. The Cobra's lair. There's this whole thing in the episode about Ryan is trying to end the curse of the Cobra tattoo that Diabolico gave him. And this is the first indication that there's any like outside force in addition to the tattoo, which makes me wonder why he didn't just do this before. Ah. Anyway, let's see. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah. He goes down in the ruins, and there's a Cobra statue on the wall that he goes up to. And the Cobra statue looks kind of familiar. I remember seeing pictures of there were some sets and scenes in the Turbo movie that never got used. I'm wondering if this was one of those, because I seem to remember there was like a big Cobra statue, so I'm wondering if this was something left over from that. It's interesting because later on in Lightspeed, there's another thing that I think may or may not have been recycled from the Turbo movie. Anyway, back with the Rangers, it cuts back and forth, and it does a really good job paralleling the Rangers battle with Troika and Diabolico and Ryan and the Cobra monster that the statue turns into. Let's see. Back at the Rangers defeat Troika, Diabolico shows up, and then he grows himself to fight the Rangers himself. And there is one kind of bummer thing here. I loved the Troika monsters, Falcar, Thunderon, and Demonite. I really love those villains. They were really cool villains. I'm glad they stuck around longer than most Power Ranger villains that are around for like one episode. Maybe they'll come back again for like, I don't know, if they get revived or something, or usually like if there's a clip show we'll see them again, but they usually don't have any new lines or new scenes or anything. So it was really cool to have three monsters I really liked stick around for like 4 or 5 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes, whatever. And anyway, kind of anticlimactic end for them. The Rangers just blast them and boom. We don't even get like a, or do we get an explosion for Troika? I don't remember. Anyway, Diabolico fights the Rangers, and then it cuts back to Ryan fighting the Cobra Monster. And the Cobra Monster is really interesting because it was a reused Snizzard costume, and it's probably one of the better instances of Power Rangers. Oh, my notes fell. My notes turned off here. It's probably one of the better instances of the Power Rangers recycling an old monster suit. Usually, when they recycle monster suits, it's really obvious, or like I'm trying to think of because there's so many like times where they recycle a suit in a weird way, and yeah, um, like now I'm blanking because like I don't know which one to pick. There's so many monsters that they would reuse in different ways, and like sometimes it's clever. Like with Incisorator back in Mighty Morphin Season 3, he was a let's see, his body was recycled from one of the Barbaric brothers in Alien Rangers, except they put a cape around him, they gave him a new head, and he's pretty much unrecognizable because the cape is around his body, so you don't see his body that well. He's only around for a really brief time, and then when Merrick and Eric, the Barbaric brothers, show up in Alien Rangers, it's mostly Japanese footage, and so it looks very different, and he doesn't have the cape on, he has a completely different head that does blend in with his body, and he's with another monster who is supposed to be a brother to him and looks very similar to him, so that helps differentiate them. But yeah, anyway, Snizzard into the Cobra Monster. The changes they made, he's repainted. I think he's repainted. It might have been just lighting. I don't know. But the head is completely different. The back, on DVD, it's very clear. You can see like this kind of swirl design going down his back that's not on the Snizzard monster, I don't think. The hands are still the same. They're like the little snake face hands. His legs are the most obvious thing from Snizzard. For whatever reason, they didn't like change the legs at all. Snizzard's legs were really weird. They looked like coiled up snakes piled on top of each other to make legs. It was very weird, and they keep those on the Cobra monster, so that's kind of like it still works. He's a snake monster, but you know, one thing I thought would have been kind of funny and kind of cute if they had taken all the little snake heads on his legs and put little like cobra neck flares, neck hoods, whatever that part of a snake is called on them. That would have been kind of funny. Not that you ever get a very like good close look at the cobra monster. Anyway, let me turn my notes back on here because I keep turning off. Let's see, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, there's a weird thing when Ryan's fighting the Cobra monster. The Cobra monster refers to the Cobra tattoo that Ryan has, and he calls it "When you morph, my brother tattoo, my brother Cobra will destroy you." And I was like, wait, the tattoo of a Cobra is his brother? Like I thought it was like an extension of his power or something that he had a hand in or something. Like maybe whenever the tattoo kills someone, he gets power from it or something. Huh. I don't know. Anyway, uh, Ryan morphs. He demorphs, but then he's able to pick up his power axe thing, chuck it at this column, which breaks, tips over, and squashes the Cobra monster, which kills him. The tattoo is nullified, I guess, and now Ryan can morph with no problem. He takes the Max. Oh, maybe he flew the Max Solar Zord out to the desert. I don't know. That would have been a cool thing to see, like the Solar Zord just parked out in the desert. That would have been kind of funny. Anyway, he joins the Rangers, and they combine into the, what was it called? Lightspeed Solar Zord, and they defeat Diabolico. That's really cool, and there's a neat little touch. I think it's also in Go-Go 5. Is it? Now I can't remember if it's also in Go-Go 5. When excuse me, when Diabolico like falls over, does the explosion monster thing, this little red dot shows up and then and zips away, and the Rangers don't notice it. Then they go back, they're celebrating. Meanwhile, the monsters, the demons back at the base, the bad guys' base, are let's see, Lokai's all ticked off that Diabolico's dead, and Vipra, her actress is trying really hard to be sad, but her voice is just, I don't know. And what she does looks really staged. I don't know. I don't care for Vipra's, like, when it comes to, like, her actress's acting. Like, it's okay. And it's, like, it's fine. It's Power Rangers. It's goofy, but I don't know, it just seems weird. Anyway, that red dot from Diabolico was his star power, which a few episodes ago, Bianchira threatened Diabolico that if he failed, she would give his star power to Impus, her baby. And so it hits baby Impus, and then he's enveloped in this weird cocoon that looks like a dragon wing. Oh, which is some nice foreshadowing for when he comes out of the cocoon thing. Anyway, uh, oh yeah, there's a really nice little scene back at the Aqua Base. The Rangers are celebrating, and then the alarm goes off, and one of the Rangers says to Captain Mitchell, "That's just a drill, right?" And Mitchell just stares. "We don't have drills." And then they go out. Banshira appears in the sky, and then spits out this, the cocooned Impus, and then to be continued. So really cool episode. Really love. I've always loved this one. This is one of my favorites. Like ever since I was a kid, I really like this episode. I love Troika. That was a really cool concept to take those three monsters and put them together. I love Diabolico fighting the Megazord. I love Ryan fighting the Cobra monster. And I went to the Ranger Wiki like I usually do after I watch an episode, and I wrote down some weird stuff that I found. And one of the things that was really interesting was there's a thing in the notes or errors or whatever. The Rangers tell Captain Mitchell that the Unilaser bounces off Troika, and that we didn't see that, and it may have been a deleted scene. And I was thinking, oh, that's so interesting. Was there deleted scenes to this? I'm trying to like imagine like what kind of stuff could have been deleted. Also, I'm trying to remember if that was in Go-Go 5 because I haven't watched Go-Go 5 in years, so I don't remember much of what was going on in Go-Go 5. Let's see. Another. Oh yeah, there was a Ranger Wiki is really weird. It'll have these awkward things in the notes and in the trivia. Let's see. Ryan's Cobra curse is broken in this episode, and he will have no further trouble while morphed in the future. Period. Um, thanks. Good job. You watched the episode and apparently the whole series, and I don't know what the point was of telling us that, and why that had to be on the Ranger Wiki, but okay. It's just, I don't know, weird. Anyway, loved the episode. It was a great episode. Really loved it. Really looking forward to the rest of Lightspeed. It's one of my favorite seasons, and once that's done comes Time Force, my absolute favorite season. So that'll be really fun. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's all for this one. See ya.